What's up, people? Belmont speaking. So, you're looking to get into gaming? Good on ya. Nowadays, we have a colossal amount of great titles that can be played both on current systems and older ones. I handpicked 6 games plus one very special feature out of my vast library that are both easy to get into and offer a meaningful experience at the same time. You know, I'm not gonna tell you to go play Candy Crush or some dumb crap like that. No. And since the vast majority of those games have been released on multiple platforms, all you have to do is check the video description so you know exactly where you can find each and every one of them. So, alright, let's get this show on the road. There's plenty of rockets coming your way. To start things off, I present you Resident Evil 1 Remakes Remaster. I know, it's a strange title. But to put it simply, this is a remake of the 1996 survival horror classic, which was later remastered for newer generations. And I'm gonna tell you right now, this is the best remake I've ever played in my life. Resident Evil 1 tells the story of a group of elite operatives from the STARS unit, that's Special Tactics and Rescue Service. They make it for the Arklay Mountains to investigate the disappearance of the Bravo unit. As soon as you begin the game, you realize that this is no trigger-happy game. It requires wit, a certain measure of good memory, and a dash of bravery. Its level design and atmosphere are absolutely amazing. Smart camera angles, a sense of impending danger, and constant but simple and effective puzzles are the norm here. Every corner you turn, every new room you enter, there's always something fresh to keep you hooked. And if you pick the easiest setting, you have plenty of ammunition to deal with every single threat that comes your way. But one thing's for certain, no matter what difficulty you choose, the sense of accomplishment you get after beating this game will make you remember it for years. And with 2 different characters, which will meet different members of the STARS unit along the way, this instantly warrants 2 playthroughs for this colossal game. Now here's one for you Blade Runner lovers out there. Detroit: Become Human. This is also a personal favorite of mine and perhaps the most singular game out of this entire list because of its gameplay, but we'll get to that in a moment. On most cyberpunk-themed games, movies, books, or futuristic works that involve androids, we'll see the events of that world's story through the eyes of a human, or at least someone who's unaware of its actual origin. That's done so in order for the audience to connect at a greater depth with the leading character and sometimes to make it more commercial. Really, why do you think the Transformers movies have all of those meaningless exchanges between stupid human characters? However, Detroit: Become Human takes a step ahead and subverts this long-running premise and puts the player into the shoes of the androids themselves. And this world is so rich both in terms of visual elements, criticism towards human behavior, and outright savagery that if you have friends who also play this game and enjoy engaging in this sort of debate, you have hours upon hours of very rich conversations. Another extremely strong suit this game has is the fact that not only you get multiple choices and different dialogue options, which will yield severely different results, but also no outcome is ever guaranteed. Just take a look at the exceedingly well-crafted opening sequence, where we play as Connor, an android negotiator who arrives at this luxury loft in order to defuse a highly complex situation. A multiple murder case turned to hostage situation involving a small child. Upon arriving at the loft, you see that your chances of success are just below 50%. As you gather more information regarding both the family and the rogue android, your chances of success during the negotiations will substantially increase, going as far as yielding different actions and dialogue options that can either make or break this dreadful negotiation. And I know there's a question lingering in your mind right now, and the answer to it is yes, it can. But that's not all there is to it. You'll also get to play as other characters, and they'll have very unique storylines with many impactful moments, albeit not happy ones. And remember how I said it's the most singular game out of this list because of its gameplay? Well, here's the thing. Quantic Dream's games tend to gravitate towards creating immersion by adapting the human body's simple movements into different buttons and motions, depending on the context. This concept applies to everything you do, making for one unique experience, both in terms of storytelling and gameplay. And since this game has multiple branching paths with severely different outcomes, returning to specific points and taking different actions is very interesting to do too. So, are you enjoying this list so far? Let me know in the comments. We still have many good games to show you. And listen up guys, making videos like this takes a lot of time and this isn't my main gig yet. That's why I've set up a Patreon and a Buy Me Coffee system so you can both become a member and make one-off donations. You see, the more financial backing I have, the more I can dedicate myself to bringing you guys content like this. And boy, oh boy, I have a lot of good stuff to show you. And next up, for all of you brawlers out there, we have the king of beat-em-ups. Yes, I'm talking about Streets of Rage 4. On the surface, Streets of Rage 4 is a simple game. Move right, beat enemies. Move right, beat more enemies, and eventually face a boss. That's it. However, this title is one of those once every blue moon occurrences where it's actually as complex as you're willing to make it. If you're just starting to play this type of game, then you have plenty of options to aid you, from lower difficulty settings to selectable advantages once you get a game over, ensuring that with some effort, even the newest of players stands the chance of conquering it. There's quite the variety of enemies both in design and actions. You also have a wide array of easy to perform moves at your disposal, especially if you buy the game with its ridiculous expansion, Mr. X's Nightmare. It gives every single character, and trust me, there's a lot of characters to be unlocked in this game by simply playing it. Remember that, guys? When all we had to do to unlock more stuff was actually play the game? But as I was saying, it gives every single character an alternate moveset once you accumulate enough points at the survival mode. And the best part, you can select which version of which special move you want to use, enabling you to custom tailor your characters to your heart's content. I think if I put together all the time I spent on both the PlayStation 4 and the PC version of it, and now, well, on the PS5 because I also bought Mr. X's Nightmare for it, we'll easily hit the 400-hour mark. And oh yeah, you can play it online with other people too. And with a big update coming up, you can bet you're gonna see more online activity once it goes live. Alright, so now here's one for you Stephen King / Twin Peaks lovers out there. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you the first horror game I actually had the guts to beat in my life. Developer extraordinaire Remedy Entertainment's Alan Wake. This game is a love letter to the works of horror master Stephen King and our favorite weird detective, Dale Cooper. You're put into the shoes of Alan Wake, a world-renowned writer who's struck by the greatest sword a man of his profession could be, the writer's block. Thinking about his well-being, his wife arranges a getaway weekend for the couple at the small city of Bright Falls. At a secluded cabin, on arriving, she reveals a big surprise to Alan, a typewriter machine. This sends Alan into a fit of rage, prompting him to leave the cabin. But little did he know that this action would trigger hell on earth for him, his wife, and the local townspeople. The world suddenly becomes engulfed by a darkness that almost feels like it has a will of its own. Reality and fiction begin to merge, making the player guess if he's actually awake or living some sort of twisted dream. But that's not all there is to this game. Any self-respecting tribute to Stephen King and Twin Peaks needs its fair share of interesting secondary characters. And you can bet that Alan Wake delivers them. This game makes it a point to play and feel like full-sized Twin Peaks episodes, offering very good balance between action, gameplay, and storytelling. Trust me, you'll never get bored from either of them. You just won't have the time. So, enjoying this list so far? I hope so. Now listen, before we move on, I need your help, okay? I want to branch out and bring you guys more content like this. You know, recommendations, comparisons, top 10s and such. But YouTube isn't exactly very kind with content creators such as myself who want to branch out. So I need your help to make its algorithm understand that my page is also viable for this new type of content. So make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. The more people we reach, the more we'll get recommended in future videos. Let's make it happen, you and I, together. Up next, we have Gone Home. Now, I'm no expert in this genre, The Walking Sim, but Gone Home is a very pleasant and carefree game that offers a little bit of puzzle solving with a lot of easygoing exploration. In Gone Home, you're put into the shoes of Katie, a girl who's just returned from Amsterdam, only to find her home completely empty. There's not a soul to be seen. What's really fun about this one is that you'll learn about Katie's family and even herself as you find notes, books, recorded messages, hidden diaries, and much more. It's an interesting method of storytelling that offers no dangerous opposition. There's no way you can die or lose here, so this game is stress-free. Just kick back and enjoy the ride. And now comes another personal favorite of mine, Death Stranding. With its more slower-paced nature, beautiful atmosphere, which gets even prettier if you go for the PlayStation 5 version, contemplative nature, and very instigating and weird storytelling, Death Stranding presents the perfect mix of going through rough patches of terrain and facing otherworldly challenges. Sam's mission is to reconnect America after a catastrophic event called Death Stranding, which happened years ago. And unlike in a walk-in sim where all you do is walk and maybe deal with a few objects here and there, in Death Stranding, going to and fro presents a wide array of challenges to the players. There's terrain stability, getting through rivers with different layers of death, cargo degradation due to timefall. That's a very weird type of rain present in this game. And even dealing with the dangerous mules, which are basically cargo thieves. This game gives you plenty of time to contemplate things, but it also has moments that demand your attention so you don't fall in your face and lose your cargo, and will frequently having you deal with supernatural entities known as BTs, which cannot be defeated in the same standard way that humans can. And in order to negotiate all those challenges, the player is given a wide array of tools, from trikes to trucks, climbing ropes to portable ladders, blood grenades to special firearms that are actually able to damage BTs. There's more than enough to keep you both interested in braving this dystopian America and to keep guessing what's gonna come next in terms of story. And now for tonight's main course. Ladies and gentlemen, I present you 2021's Game of the Year, It Takes Two. It Takes Two is one of those games that can be appreciated on all levels by people of all ages. A younger audience would find the graphics cute and simply have fun with the gameplay and puzzles, whereas adults would surely pick something up from the story. You see, this amazing title puts you in the shoes of an estranged couple who's on the verge of a breakup, and you also get to witness to see how it all affects their young daughter. I'm not gonna dive too deep into the story, but the complexity of a relationship is tackled in a very ludic way. However, the real star of the game is its perfectly balanced gameplay experience. And perfect is not a word that I use at random. Each new level presents the players something expressively different from what they've seen so far in the game. You go through several locations within the couple's property, and each will present you with different equipment to solve puzzles and move forward. As the title states, it takes two to clear them. And since we're talking about puzzles, this is, to me, the game's main strong suit. As I played through it with my brother, I was constantly amazed and positively impressed at the balance achieved. Puzzles are never so easy that you begin feeling patronized, nor are they so difficult you'll be put off by them. They are smart, fun, and diverse, all while requiring players to combine their efforts in very dynamic ways. You'll never get repeated puzzles, it's always something different. Different mechanics, different equipment, different powers, different layouts. Repetitive is a word that's absolutely out of this game's vocabulary. And there's an added replayability factor. The skills and equipment you get are not interchangeable. Each character has specific equipment. And thanks to the very well crafted puzzle dynamics, if you're anything like me, you want to play this game again with the other character as soon as you're done. And now it's time for our very special feature. Ladies and gentlemen, dear RPG fans, I give you Final Fantasy VII. Set in a dystopian future where the mega corporation Shinra is sucking the planet dry of its energy. Mako, this entry in this long-lasting franchise brings us a memorable and charismatic cast of characters, all while presenting a very good story progression and many remarkable moments. Not to mention the ridiculous soundtrack composed by Nobuo Uematsu. Seriously, Final Fantasy VII has one of the best soundtracks you ever listen to in your life. I decided to pick this one for a couple of factors. First, it's one of the most popular entries in the franchise. Second, there's the remake version available both for the PlayStation 4 and 5, and I'll be bringing you the latter in April to celebrate its 2-year anniversary, so make sure to subscribe so you don't miss it. And third, it's a damn good game. In it, you'll be making extensive use of the materia system. Materia are basically condensed orbs of energy which grants the user special abilities and spells. So in here, no one is a complete mage or fighter by default. Sure, each character has his own strengths and weaknesses, but you can customize your squad however you see fit. And the good thing about the remaster that was released a few years ago is that it comes with a few different buffs you can turn on and off anytime you like. Feel like a part of the game is taking too long, while you can play it 3 times faster. Now, you don't want to fight every single random battle that comes your way, that's fine, you can disable them. Having trouble with a particular fight and don't have the patience to grind, there's also the I win function, which I honestly don't recommend you using them. You know, part of the fun is getting smart with your setup when the going gets rough. But don't worry, Final Fantasy VII isn't a particularly hard RPG. It does have its challenges, but it's nothing too crazy. So if you want a great story, a lot of combat that's done via menu selections and not real-time actions, and a fun character customization system, then this one is for you. So there you have it, guys. If you like this video, then make sure to share it with your friends, because if this video does really well, then you can bet I'm gonna make a part 2 and perhaps even a part 3. Who knows, I have a lot of good games to show you. And also, if you have any recommendations for newcomers as well, then leave them in the comments. I'll read all of them. And remember, if you wish to help us in a more direct manner, we have a Patreon and a Buy Me Coffee systems in place. Just check the links in the description. So I hope you had a great time. I sure enjoyed myself quite a lot making this video for you, and I'll see you next time. Download out.